Last time around, I tried using Killer Frost and Scorpion. Unfortunately, I played badly. I will admit to that. I know there were circumstances that led to it, but the buck stops at me. I have to take responsibility for that. I decided to try it again. This time, try and play a bit better despite everything happening behind the scenes. And thankfully, I was able to achieve that. Two solo rate artifacts, of course, are going to be necessary if you need to, if you are going to one shot with this team on the highest tier of solo rate, tier 7. Yeah, with one solo rate artifact, I don't see that happening. I showed you guys a video. I used just one solo rate supporting artifact, maxed out, of course, as 32k attack, and I was able to do 1.6 billion damage, almost 1.7. Not bad, right? But you are still about 280 million shots of one shotting the boss. If you really want to one shot, then you need to have one maxed out. I would say the second one needs to be over half, over a level 5 artifact. I would say I don't have any to test, but just based on the result of this match, number one, you would need to play Nai perfectly. You can't have any calls interrupting your gameplay. You can't have your Wi-Fi restarting. You can't have any of those. You need to actually concentrate, play good gameplay. In this case, I was able to do that, and I had about 20 seconds left, which is not bad actually. That leads me to think that if you have maybe one maxed out solo rate artifact and you have another one on, let's say, I'm tempted to say 5, but even that 5, I'm not sure. Maybe let me say 7. Let's say between 5 and 7. If the second one is between 5 and 7, I think you have a real shot at one shotting, but you would be cutting it very close. The one advantage, however, is that Scorpion is an arcane character, meaning that against any boss he is fighting, he is not going to have any advantages, but he's also not going to have any disadvantages. Basically, you can expect consistent results from Scorpion in solo raids as long as you have this high level artifact we're talking about. This is really good for those that have this setup. This is another one shot thing that you can consider. Of course, that obviously means it won't be viable in every solo raid, because I'm guessing in some solo raids you don't have two maxed out, or one maxed out and maybe the other one on level 6, 5, 7. I'm sure you don't have that in every single solo raid. So yeah, you would have to, this is a team that will become useful with time as you build your account. Anyways, I love this team. It's just nice to play with a different kind of team. It's also nice, one thing I love about this team, it's not just the damage, it's also the fact that the opponent doesn't get to jump anyhow. Because you know, once that hazard is on the floor, your game just starts to glitch and the opponent is flying at every given second. You will see they even attempted to do it, but because of Killer Frost, you're able to freeze them in position. And that actually does a lot, even beyond a damage boost. That actually does a lot to have consistent damage against the opponent, which makes a one shot possible with that team. Anyways, I started thinking, now that I have 100% confirmed that Scorpion Killer Frost works very well, which other team can I try? My very first video with Killer Frost, I had used Mr. Freeze, so that is pretty clear. In that video, I actually have about 30 something seconds left, so that's a very solid. Killer Frost Mr. Freeze is like my top recommendation for Killer Frost. Second would be Killer Frost and Scorpion. Those two teams, they would work. And okay, I would say in fact, Mr. Freeze is much better, because Killer Frost with Mr. Freeze, apart from the fact that they are both code-based characters, is that you only need one maxed out solo raid artifact. In every solo raid, you're going to be able to use Killer Frost and Mr. Freeze, but I can't say the same for Killer Frost and Scorpion. The Scorpion thing is more of a variety. You have two maxed out artifacts. Let's just have some fun. If you are serious about doing damage, you are serious about beating your opponent, definitely you want to go the route of Killer Frost Mr. Freeze with just one solo raid artifact. Anyways, I was wondering what other team can I try. Honestly, going through my roster, I didn't see any team that stands out that could really benefit, because you have to keep in mind, Killer Frost damage is a damage buff Once you see damage buff, you're talking about additive damage, not multiplicative. Multiplicative would be your gemstone, would be your raven, would be your beta club. That doesn't apply here. This is going to be additive damage. There are not many teams that can benefit from this, outside of the two I've already mentioned with Scorpion and with Mr. Freeze. I decided to try Black Manta. Black Manta has 1200% damage on his basic attacks once it gets to 100 stacks of his damage. That's 1200%. So I was like, okay, that's a good start. Then let's look at Supergirl. Supergirl can give 400% damage. Okay, interesting. Then Killer Frost is going to give another 400%. Now we have 1200 plus 400 plus 400. That is 2000% damage. Looks big, right? It looks huge, combined with the fact that I'm working with two maxed out artifacts. 64k attack. I mean, that is no slouch. You would think that this should take me far. No, it doesn't, guys. I'm sorry, it doesn't. 2000% damage. When it is additive, it doesn't make any sense. In fact, you will probably even do better with like 200% multiplicative damage than 2000% additive. Really unfortunate, guys, because it's really hot. It means you are limited. That's what I hate about this. It means Killer Frost can't. I really would wish Killer Frost were a Raven kind of character. And to have a Raven kind of character, it needs to be incoming damage, it needs to be multiplicative damage. All this additive damage thing, I'm tired. Seriously, NRS, I am done with additive damage. Release a character, not an artifact, because artifact, we can't get it. You would have to be lucky. You would have to use like the luck of your life to get the specific artifact. And I'm referring to Beta Club, I'm referring to Gemstone. I played this game for years, about 4 years before I got Beta Club. So I probably need to play for another 8 years to get the gemstone. We know we're not going to get this artifact. So why don't you give us... We know you get incoming damage, right, from Zatanna's Puppet. I know, but that's from the 5th. It's from the 5th debuff. So it's not really ideal. It's not really ideal, and it's kind of limited with Zatanna's Puppet. I think it's even a small amount of incoming damage. So I really would prefer a new character that would have incoming damage. See, okay, I was going to say even if it's incoming damage for one specific team, or maybe for all the legendaries, or for all the good characters, maybe that would not be bad, but let it be incoming damage. Let's have a bit of variety. Killer Frost is unfortunately very limited with the current set of characters we have. Or we need to have that kind of Mr. Freeze kind of character, but guys, that's not it. Just give us another Raven, maybe a little bit weaker, but a similar kind of Raven. I think this game is overdue for that kind of character. You guys have made a lot of money from Gemstone, I mean, but yeah, I think it's time to do something for us. Smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.